Good morning, everyone. We're going to start. Welcome to this IPA4SME information webinar. My name is Joan Lanfranco, and I am project manager at Go.com, a communications agency in Brussels that is a partner of the IPA4SME consortium. This webinar will be conducted by Cristina de la Maza and Marco Graziadio from CARSA. And throughout the webinar, you can write questions in the GoToWebinar question box, and these will be addressed at the end by the presenters or followed up individually by email by the IPA4SME Coordination Center. Enjoy the webinar, and I give the floor to Cristina and to Marco.
Good morning. Thank you for your participation and your interest in the action that we've been running for more than a year until now. The idea of the webinar today is to support you in understanding what is already presented in our website and in the supporting documents like the guide for applicants. But the idea is to have a better understanding of what type of services the IP4SME action is offering to innovative SMEs, and in this case, innovative SMEs means all the SME instrument holders of the Seal of Excellence. That is one of the requirements for being a beneficiary of the services offered by the IPA4SME. This action is running by the COSME program of the European Commission and is related to the IP policies for enriching the commercialization of assets from SMEs to international markets. So the design of this action includes services in two different natures of services. There is a first service that is called the IP pre-diagnostic, that is thought as the design of an IP strategy customized for its SME that is beneficiary of the service, that is provided by an expert that has been already certified by the European Commission, and that this expert is following a methodology and is using the corresponding tools so that every expert has the same procedure for developing the service. It's free of charge for the SME, and it will be performed and implemented through in face-to-face sessions and the delivery of a specific report. The face-to-face sessions, due to the COVID-19 situation, has been temporarily substituted by virtual sessions. And we are trying to adapt the action during this period of COVID-19 situation. As you have seen already, for example, extending some of the deadlines and adapting the services so that you can use as much as possible the benefits of our proposal. Then we have a second nature of services that are related to the partial reimbursement of your cost when registering in the EPO office the patents registration. So under these two main areas of services, we are going to provide you additional information, and we are going to present you some of the questions that we have received until now, and that will help to understand what type of services we are providing. There is a limit in the financial of the different services, insisting that the IP pre-diagnostic service is free of charge for you. So it will be our coordination center. It will be us paying the work done by the expert and coordinating this selection of the experts together with the IP national offices in general. For this IP pre-diagnostic service, you have you have known that this is only provided in 11 out of the 27 plus 1 EU countries. So be aware on the checking that your country is represented on those 11. But these other 2 services that you can see here for the co-financing of the reimbursement for the EPO registration, this is ready for all the European Union countries, and what is reimbursed is in the case of the EPO fee, the EPO cost of registration is up to 75%, and there is a maximum amount, a maximum limit of 2,500 euros. And for the support that you get from an EPO representative, this attorney, this professional that helps you in the registration, or this agency that is helping you in the registration of the patent, there will be a maximum reimbursement against invoices of 50% of the cost of the attorney, and up to 2,000 euros cost. Well, as I was mentioning, what are the requirements of the SMEs applying, at least on this 5th call that we are closing next Thursday, and that has been open for more than 3 months. Well, there is a need to have the seal of excellence under the H2020 SME instrument. You need to fulfill the criteria to be considered an SME under the usual, let's say, parameters of turnover and number of employees. In the case of the 3 services, your country has to be a COSME country for the IP protection co-financing, and for the service 1, for the IP pre-diagnostic, as I was explaining, until now those 11 mentioned countries are the ones receiving the IP pre-diagnostic through the coordination of the IP national offices plus our coordination center. So you can go for the application procedure from our website. We simplified as much as possible the application process. We have let's say, internal submission system, so that you can present all the documents, and so that you can go for the submission. This 5th call will be open until 5 o'clock on Thursday, the 25th of June. And until then, of course, we have our help desk ready for answering any question regarding your submission process. So the team is really active for both for the application and for the process of presenting all the documents when you are awarded. We are quite quick in the publication of the beneficiaries. It usually takes less than 1 week. So the latest by mid-July, you will be known if you were awarded, and there will be a long period for implementing the services. That is more than 4 months, and that if the situation is well, we are flexible in the case of situations like this mentioned COVID-19. So those are the dates of the code that is open now, meaning that we have like a continuous open process, meaning that after June the 25th, we will open our 6th call, and it will be open soon after the closure of the 5th. Well, you can also be part of our community in the social networks that we are trying to grow as well. with the Twitter activity and the LinkedIn and the Facebook accounts. And the best way for us to explain how to proceed with the presentation of your application is to go for the questions that we have been collecting until now from the other calls. Plus, don't forget to read the guide for applicants in detail. But today, for this session, we wanted to be more interactive. That's why we present some of the questions, the frequent questions. Plus, we have the chat for this webinar open for additional questions from your side to be answered during the webinar or to be answered after, and all the questions will be published after, including the audio recording of the session today. So I will give the floor to my colleague Marco for going through the details of the questions.
Hello to everybody. I am Marco Giaddio, innovation consultant working from Carsa. It's a real pleasure to be today here with you. So before to start with the frequently asked question, I would like to say that at the end of this webinar, we will proceed to send to all of them the guide for applicants, in which you can find all the information. And in the event that you have some doubts or some uncertainties, you can contact us through the help desk email, and we will try to answer you as soon as possible. So starting with the frequently asked question. So the first one is through having a seal of excellence, SME won later on Horizon 2020 SME instrument project. Will this company still be eligible for IPA4SME support? So let's say that, as before Christina explained it, to apply to this project, SME should meet some requirements. First of all, to hold a seal of excellence certificate awarded in the context of the Horizon 2020 SME instrument, which must be no longer than 3 years prior to the call of date. Then the SME should meet all the financial criteria to be considered SME by the European Commission, which means to have an annual turnover which not exceed more than 50 million euro, or and annual balance that not exceed 43 million euro. Then it's really important that all the SME of the company should be located in the European member state or COSME member state. This means that, for example, all the company located in countries like Norway, for example, Israel, Ukraine, they cannot participate in this project. So it's really important to understand that only the SME located in COSME member state can participate to this project, unless for the country that, for example, for the company located in Norway, for example, they can participate in the project only if they have a second department or second office located in one of the COSME member states. But then it's also important to understand that to all the company that has been awarded in one of the projects financed from Horizon 2020 SME instrument phase 2, they are not eligible to have this support. In this context, also the program EHC accelerators is the same of the Horizon 2020 SME instrument phase. So all the companies that receive the financial support from this kind of program, they cannot be eligible in this program. So question number 2, we have a seal of excellence and filed a patent already. Can we be a beneficiary to receive reimbursement from IPA4SME if we already filed a patent, or the patent submission date should be after the application at IPA4SME? So it's really important to understand that within IPA4SME, as Christina before explained, we offer 2 services. The 2 co-financing services are reimbursable only if the beneficiary will provide us the valid invoice issued after the IPA4SME support has been awarded. This means basically that when you applied and when you are selected, you will receive an email, which in this email we will basically explain you that you are awarded one of the 3 services. And so this email represents for us the communication award email. So all the invoices issued after this date are considered eligible within the IPA4SME programs. So for example, if you provide us an invoice dated in the 2018, unfortunately this kind of invoice are not eligible. Then this one is really important because as often happened, a lot of beneficiary or applicants asked us, I don't remember if I have a seal of excellence or I cannot find it. What can I do? So every company that has ever submitted a proposal to the Horizon 2020 SME instrument program should be able to check if it has been awarded a seal of excellence by logging into the participant portal and then going to my proposal. Clicking on this space under the action button corresponding to the proposal in question, you can find all the process documentation. In this space, you can find the seal of excellence along with your ESR. If there is not seal of excellence document, this means that basically you didn't award the seal of excellence. So please try to collect these documents, both of them, seal of excellence and ESR, because they are really important you can apply to this program, because they are the base to evaluate if you are eligible or not. Okay, question number 4. Once a company has submitted an IPA4SME application, what process does it have to follow if selected for support? So before to explain this, to answer to this question, I would like to recommend you that for each cutoff, you can apply for all of the services. So if you are interested to receive service 1, service 2, and service 3, all together, you can do it. At the same time, it's really important that even if you are rejected or if you are awarded of one of these services, you can apply it in the future cutoff. So feel free to apply all the time that you want to receive one of these 3 services. So when a beneficiary, an application is selected, so you are considered a beneficiary. So in the case you has been awarded for service 1, that is also called the IP pre-diagnostic, basically the coordination center will place selected SME in contact with the national expert as soon as the selection process has been completed. So in this case, what we ask you when you are selected is to complete an easy document called the IPA4SME self-assessment that not require more than 5 minutes. And when we collected this document, we will contact the national expert or national EP office, and we will ask them to contact you. So basically then there is the scheduling of the pre-diagnostic that will be a matter of coordination between the SME and the expert. In this case, when you schedule a possible meeting, there are 2 options. Or the expert will visit you face-to-face. But since the outbreak of the virus, in a lot of cases, the expert decided together the beneficiary to schedule a possible meeting via Skype. I would like to say you that during the previous cutoff, in a lot of cases this happened, and all the beneficiaries were really happy to receive the pre-diagnostic via internet. So even if it's not face-to-face, doesn't mean that the services will not satisfy you. Instead, as regard to the service 2 or service 3, when you has been awarded for these services, so basically what we asked you is to provide us 2 documents. That is a valid IP turn invoice plus the corresponding proof of payment. Once we evaluate this document and once we consider them valid, we will directly proceed with the reimbursement. Then question number 5. Is there any time limitation for justifying EPO and IP attorney fee after ASME has been selected for support under IPA4SME? Yeah, there is a time limitation. It's really important that you understand that to complete service 2 and service 3, but also service 1, there is a time limitation of 4 months to activate the support services. Activate the support services means that in the case of service 1, schedule at least the first meeting with the expert. Instead, for service 2 and service 3, activate the support services means to send us valid documentation. Once we consider the services activated, the beneficiary will have up to the end of the IPA4SME initiative that is set for the 31 December of 2021 to present invoices, a second invoices relating to the IP attorney fee and the patent application. So the deadline, as you can see, is for the final request of the reimbursement is set for the December 31, 2021. So again, because this is really important that you understand that the time limitation is 4 months. You must activate all of the services until 4 months. Otherwise, we consider your application rejected. Question number 6. This is especially as regard to service 3. I'm already working with an IP attorney. Are his or cost reimbursable? Please try to consider that our supports cover all the EPO registration process. So for an IP attorney fee, they are considered reimbursable only if you are sending us an invoice which covers costs for EPO registration. And in this case, especially for service 3, the person issuing the invoice must be a professional entitled to act before the EPO, who has been hired by the beneficiary for the purpose of preparing the filing of a European patent. So again, for service 3, it's really important that the patent attorney hiring for provide you legal advice should be entitled to act before the EPO. Question number 7. Are all the types of patent eligible to be subjected of IPA4SME support? As I said 1 minute ago, our support exclusively covers European patent registration process, so service 2 and also service 3. So no cost for EP protection in countries like USA, China, Canadian will be covered. It's also important to know that together with the EPO patent application, we also cover all the PCT patent, which are registered throughout the EPO mechanism. Furthermore, for service 2, only the costs related to the following EPO services are eligible and therefore covered. So basically, to explain you better, for service 3, we consider eligible all the costs related for all the costs associated to the legal advice provided from a patent attorney in order to register a possible patent in the EPO patent application. Instead, for service 2, we cover the cost of EPO patent registration, but we cover only the EPO service fee present in this slide, which are code 001, that is the EP direct filling fee. Then there is code 002, that is fee for a European search, code 005, designation fee, code 006, examination fee. Then there is code 007 that has regard to fee for grant and printing, or fee for grant including fee for publication. And then there is code 0033 that is related to renewal fee for the 3rd year. Question number 8. How does the EP pre-diagnostic service process look like? what is expected from the SME in order to enable a complete services. So basically, the EP pre-diagnostic services is consistent of 4 main steps. That is, a first analysis of the ecosystem in which is involved the beneficiary. The expert assigned to you will study key aspects such as the market, competitors, products, and services, always from the AP perspective. The second step is the interaction between the beneficiary, the company, and the expert in order to collect more information about the company regarding products, process, and services, as well as the financial situation and objective of the SME. Also in this case, always from the EP perspective. Then there is a first step in which basically the expert design and development a pre-diagnostic report in which basically he collects the main competencies and areas of development of the SME in terms of EP. And then there is the presentation, dissemination of the result with you. So basically the services consist of 4 main steps. Already, as I said before, once you have been awarded for service 1, the coordination center directly help you to find the expert throughout the national EP office. Then there is the scheduling of the meeting that you can do face-to-face or by video call. And then there is basically the design and the development of this report. Please remember that service 1 is free of charge. So every expenditure are directly covered by us, by the coordination center. So for you, there is any kind of cost. And thank you very much.
So now we will proceed with the questions received during the session. Juan, I don't know if you already supported us in the answers, or do you want us to select an answer?
Yes, Christina. I can say some of the questions, and if you prefer. We have a participant asking if the call is for future IP applications, or they can apply for past applications.
No, it's for future, meaning that the date of the invoices have to be after the day we.
Can you speak closer to the mic? Sorry, we cannot hear.
It's for future registrations, meaning that the date of the invoices, both for service 2 and 3, has to be after the day of communication of the award.
Okay.
Yeah. And for this different reimbursement that Marco was explaining is because the registration process in front of the EPO is a procedure that will take a time, and that will take several steps. And the idea of the services 2 and 3 is to support you in all the steps for the patents registration, meaning that we are expecting different invoices and up to maximum of 2, isn't it? Yeah. For services 2 and services 3, because of this procedure of registration. Yeah, but the date has to be after.
Thank you. The next question asks whether can a company apply twice for service 3 for the same EPO patent?
So basically, for service 3, there isn't a limitation, which means that you can apply to receive reimbursement different time, but every time the application should be related to one patent application. which means that, for example, if I have a company that I have 5 patents, I can apply 5 times without any problem. And each time, if I am selected, I can receive reimbursement for each of these patents. It's true that within Service 3, we cover the 50% of the cost of patent attorney up to Euro 2000. But it's also true that for each patent application, we are going to accept all the invoices. So yeah, for Service 3, beneficiary can apply all the time that they want. Instead, for Service 2, there is a limitation of 5 patent applications. For each of these patent applications, beneficiary can receive the 75% of cost reimbursement up to Euro 2,500. When I say that there is a limitation of 5 applications, doesn't mean that the beneficiary can apply only 5 times. Means that they can receive reimbursement for 5 patent applications. So there isn't a limit to apply. Every beneficiary can apply all the time that they want.
There is a limitation per application, this 2,000, but there is also a cumulative limit for each SME. That is this 15,000. So the SME can apply several times, presenting the registration of the different patents at different times, even at different times of the IPA4SME action, at different months, of course. But the cumulative benefit of budget per SME is up to 15,000. And it includes Service 1 because Service 1 is free of charge.
Thank you. Next question. Does the EPO fee reimbursement include fees for entering the regional phase of a PCT application before the European Patent Office?
No. Okay. For Service 2, so EPO fee, we reimburse only some EPO fee that I show you again just because I think it's more easy using the slide. So for Service 2, we cover only the code that you can find on the list, which means we are going to cover billing fee, a fee for European search, designation fee, examination fee, fee for grant and printing, and the fee related to renewal for the 3rd year. Again, our support exclusively covers European patent registration. So we are going to accept only the EPO patent application, or at least PCT application that are done throughout the process of EPO mechanism. So again, we are not going to cover all the cost, but only the one included in this slide. But again, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to send you the guide of application in which you can find also this information. But please remember that only these costs are covered. Instead, for Service 3, again, we are going to cover every cost related to legal advice.
Thank you. Next question. If a company has not received yet SME instrument phase 2, if they apply and receive IPA4SME support, what happens if they get SME phase 2, like EIC accelerator, in 1 month?
Yeah, I received a similar question yesterday. Depends. Why depends? Okay. If you are going to apply for these services and later you are going also to participate to receive financial funding financed by the Horizon 2020 program phase 2, or let's call it EIC accelerators, is not a problem, because yeah, you are applying first for the IPA4SME and then you are going to apply later for the to receive financial from the program phase 2. But it's also true that if you already applied and you are just waiting to sign the contract to receive the reimbursement, in that case, it's not possible to participate in this program.
Thank you. Next question. Is it possible for the service one, so pre-diagnostics, to work together with a patent attorney that they already know or they work with?
Well, it could be a coincidence, but usually we are talking about the.
Can you speak a bit closer, Christina?
Yeah, it could be a coincidence, but we are talking about two different profiles. IP pre-diagnostic experts have been trained by EU IPO, by the European Commission, and they are specifically trained and certified for the IP pre-diagnostic service. And there is let's say a number of experts per country in order to support us in the IPA4SME action. And the APO representatives is a long list of agencies and groups of attorneys per country that are specifically dedicated to the registration and the search of patent databases, and this is a completely different profile and role. So in the case of an EPO attorney, it has to be checked if he already received the training for the IP4SME pre-diagnostic service. Until now, I think we have no profiles doing the three services at a time.
Thank you. Next question. Can you file for examination or modification fees requested by EPO on IP applications done to EPO before the application?
Okay, so for service 2 and service 3, yeah, first of all, you can select the EP patent attorney that you want. But as I said before, let's say that especially for service 3, but for service 2, let's say that is not a problem. Could be really important also for service 2 that the patent attorney that is going to proceed for the EPO patent registration is eligible to act in EPO. So we are going to consider only the patent attorney that are eligible. But again, for service 2, in the case a patent attorney proceed with the legal advice, is not a real problem. But again, it's really important that the invoice that we receive is dated after the communication of award. So let's say that is really important for this project that you start the process to register your patent after you receiving the communication of award. Otherwise, if you are going to provide us invoices dated before, unfortunately, these invoices are not eligible.
Well, actually, this display of dates and amounts and profiles and so on, this is not. This is the logic of these rules is that the action is trying to incentivize the registration of new patents. That's the point. So we are not going to get invoices, old invoices from activities already performed by the SME, but the future actions for patentability of the assets regarding the professional that is going to serve you, could be for service 1, could be for service 2 and 3. It has to be a qualified expert. So this is not that we are putting plenty of rules, because we've been talking about that for the last 15 minutes. But to have the what is the rationale of the action, as all the actions coming from the European Commission, is to incentivize the patentability of the assets and value that in this case the innovative SMEs identified as the seal of excellence have for potential, open of markets, transfer of knowledge and technology. That's the main idea, apart from this playing with the dates and other rules that we are trying to explain.
Thank you. There's another question similar to a previous one. They have a company that has been helping them in the realization of these IP procedures. So they asked if they could subcontract them within the program, or the program only covers the patent agents and not the companies they work with already.
In this CPO database of representatives, we are talking about thousands of professionals. We are talking about hundreds per country. I mean, those are the qualified experts to present patent documentation in front of the EPO. So it has to be, you just need to go to the database. There's a link in internet. There's a good searching engine in this database. You just put the surname of your attorney, and it has to be there, because otherwise we cannot identify him or her as qualified.
Yeah, in the case, what I can do later is to together to send you to all of you the guide of for applicants. I will also include in the email some information, and one of these will be the link in which you can really easily check if the patent attorney is registered in EPO. But as Christina already said, there are dozens and dozens of experts qualified.
Yeah, well, I mean, we want to make you clear rules, because you will see that the application process is somehow easy in case you have this seal of excellence diploma. But we want you not to lose the time, your time, thinking that this action is going to finance an activity that is not going to be. But just to let you know that until now, for example, for Service 1, we have provided more than 300 services only for these 11 countries, and meaning that there is a demand of companies that are somehow getting to an IP level of maturity, even if they are considered SMEs. And that's why we think is really interesting for you to start this type of activities as part of your business strategy. But we want to be clear on the rules and not to make you lose any time.
Thank you. Let's see, questions that have not been answered. This is a question from a startup. So they looked at the application form, and their current turnover is 0, because they're still developing their product. However, they do dedicate funds to R&D activities. So what should they fill in the innovation intensity? The percentage of turnover, is this 0 or towards 100?
I mean, actually, this is not a criteria of eligibility. So you have to put the truth, what is real. This is not you can see the profile of the beneficiaries, and yeah, turnover is not a selection criteria. Yeah. So the quality of the application is more related to the you've seen, to the score of the ESR, apart from having the seal of excellence diploma.
As I said before, also Christina, yeah, the end, what we evaluate is the seal of excellence and the evaluation summary report. Then, yeah, I see that different question is related to, yeah, if I am a beneficiary from Israel. As I said before, only the SME that are located in COSME member states can participate. It's true that they are not eligible, the SME that have received support from the Horizon 2020 SME instrument phase 2. And then there is this other point that is the, yeah, that the SME, but we can also say a startup, yeah, meet the financial criteria to be considered as SME by the European Commission. That means that the startup or the SME in this case should not exceed an annual turnover of 50 million euro. That is the base to be considered as SME.
Okay, let's find more questions. A question that appears very often is that if they apply for the three services, that is it possible to be awarded just for one, or it will be all three or not?
No, basically you can apply to receive all of the three services. Then there is a selection process in which there is a rank where we consider the seal of excellence, the evaluation summary report, and there is a final rank. This means that, for example, Giuseppe Antonacci, that is the guy that I think asked this question, can apply for all of the three services, but maybe he can be selected for receive service 1 and service 2, and not for service 3, because maybe in the rank for service 3 is not able to be classified. So in this case, what Giuseppe Antonacci can do is to apply again in the next cutoff to receive service 3. As I said before, you can apply all the time that you want. But in some cases can happen that you can be awarded only for service 2 during the cutoff 5. This doesn't mean that in cutoff 6 you are not going to receive service 3. Depending how many SME they are applying to receive the services, because there is a specific rank at the end of the process. So if applied 100 candidates that have a score higher than, for example, the company of Giuseppe Antonacci, in this case, maybe Giuseppe Antonacci is not able to receive now service 2, but maybe he will receive in the next cutoff call. Remember that in this program, we plan to have 9 cutoff call. We are at the cutoff 5, which means that you will have the opportunity to apply again for other 5 cutoff call, which means that sooner or later you will have the opportunity, also because we are providing a lot of finance.
And in any case, as Marco was trying to explain, we are ranking the services as independent, somehow given by the way, giving priority to service 1, because actually our recommendation out of the what explained on paper is that for most of your profiles, our recommendation is to start by the initial IP strategy, because this work with the expert is going to bring you an action plan, including future registration of patents. So we rank the 3 services independently. That's why even if you applied for 1, 2, 3, you can be awarded for the 3 or for 1, 2, depending on your position in the ranking.
John, give me a second, just because I would like to take in consideration some question. Because I see it, okay, again, are eligible all the SME located in the COSME country, which means that, unfortunately, a company located in Israel, Switzerland, also in Ukraine, and they are not eligible. In Norway, for example, too, they are not eligible. only the SME located in the COSME country. However, in the event that the company, for example, located in Israel, has a second department located in France that is a COSME member state, in this case, you can apply it, but you have to send us proof that you have a second department in France. Instead, there is a question from Karina Santos. Are UK company eligible? Yep. Companies located in UK are still eligible to receive the services 2 and 3. Because for service 1, for example, UK is not eligible. But for service 2 and service 3, company located in UK are still be considered eligible. So please, for all the people that are attending, are coming from UK, please consider that you can still participate to receive service 2 and service 3.
Okay,
John?
there's another question. If they get an objection for one of their patent filing and their solicitors need to reply to the examiner, they will issue a new invoice for this service. So is this covered?
Yeah. In this case, they have to ask for a new invoices that should be dated after communication award. I already. Yeah, we are providing you a lot of information, but it's not that complicated then receive the reimbursement. The only point is that when we receive the documentation for service 2 and service 3, basically what we check are 3 information. First, the date. If the date is issued after the communication award, is super fine. Second, we are going to check if the beneficiary also provide us the proof of payment corresponding to that invoice. And in the case of service 2, we are going only to see which of the fee were covered. So this is the only information that we are going to check.
Yeah, you will see in the guide for applicants that for the service 3, in the case of IPO attorney that is supporting you for the actions to be taken before the registration of the patent, if the conclusion is that the recommendation is not to patent, the service 3 will be also covered. So, I mean, the conclusion of the service 3 is not always to go for a patent, but is to pay the service of this attorney that is supporting you in the analysis.
Okay, so those, I think that the common questions were answered. The rest of questions might need the individual follow-up by email, as they have very specific information from companies. So as said at the beginning, they will be followed up by email by the IPA4SME consortium.
Yeah, yeah, please, John, send me then all the question. And again, I will proceed to send all of you the guide for applicants, in which you can find other information, even if I think we explain everything during this webinar, but better to have the guide. And then I will provide you the link to see if the patent attorney appears in the list. But again, during this 1 year, we revised dozen and dozen and dozen of invoices, and I can tell you that every time the invoices were related to different patent attorney, and all of them were part of the IPO list, so it's not a problem. And this.
Very good. So as Marco said, we will share the recording, and the different questions will be answered. The remaining questions will be answered individually. Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you very much, Marco and Cristina.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.